This is one of the best parts of the entire model. This is what got me super excited when I started like experimenting with especially like GPT-4. It's just so good, right? And it's something that we just didn't have a few years ago. I'm just so thankful for it, especially somebody who hasn't spent his entire life, developing apps. The ability to just take something you built, maybe together with GPT, and to feed it back and to ask it like, why is this not running? Why is this not working? Why am I getting this error message? Like often with GPT-4, the very simplest thing you can do is just copy the error message you get in the terminal or in the console and just throw it back at it, and it will tell you what's going on, and it will give you a step-by-step tutorial on how to fix that. So how often do you use it for debugging in your day-to-day? And what would maybe be some recommendations for people trying to fix some mistakes which inevitably will occur, because that's just how it goes?
I mean, definitely for checking error messages, it is a good question, like why one would use web search or just a conversational agent to search for these error messages. I guess the main reason is because conversational agents can be a lot more concise. And then in the web search regime, you kind of have to go through different links and see which one answers your question. And that's why that scenario is becoming so popular among developers. But when it comes to sort of like debugging a whole bunch of code where you exactly do not know where the error is coming from and so on, I've been surprised to how the usual practices in software engineering kind of remain the same in that sense, in that you still have to modularize your code and separate it in different functions that are self-contained and documented for better debugging. And that is valid also for code that is generated by GPT-4 and other tools. And that's just for you as a developer to sort of like know where the error is coming from and really isolate, where the information is coming and what are the possible error messages that are coming from that function. So that you can also ask a more self-contained question for debugging later on to these tools. Like you can just like copy paste that function and you can say, well, tell me what can go wrong. Like this is the error message that I'm getting, this is the function, tell me what can go wrong. And this is much easier than pasting thousands lines of code to the tool and having it, try many different things that can happen there. So it will help us as developers, but it will also help the model to focus on the right things.
Okay, so tip of the day, like keep your code like compartmentalized, and if you're using it for debugging, like try and tackle it one problem at a time. I think this is one of the most common pitfalls. I think you outlined that perfectly. People just do a command or control A, control C, and then they paste the whole thing. And like if they're writing in one file, if the app might not be that large, with people starting out building wrappers, often it's just like it's just one document. They copy paste the whole thing and then they start asking questions. That's really confusing to the model a lot of times. So from the ground up, like from the very first step, thinking in terms of like code blocks, or I like to always think of it as buckets, just like start multiple buckets and like populate them step by step, will allow you to fix the errors that might occur down the line. Whereas if you're just doing everything in one, but okay, those are some basic practices when it comes to writing apps.